can't say that now.
Hi, everyone, and welcome to another episode of the Ultimate Client Strategy podcast. I'm Lisa Rosenthal. This is my co-founder and partner, Bruce Libman, and we are joined today by a very special guest, Marc Miller, who is an executive coach and has been a longtime colleague and friend to Bruce and I.
I have a question for you, Marc. Tell us about your business. What's your mission? Who do you help? And what impact are you making on your clients?
That's a multifaceted question, Bruce. I'll do my best.
I know.
If I leave anything out, you'll remind me. So let me first say that my background and training is as a clinical psychologist. I practiced as a therapist for many years and transitioned to becoming a coach at a certain point because of a combination of factors. Most importantly, let me say, the interest in working in organizations with organizational leaders, bringing in the business aspects of my work, the value of my insights in terms of understanding people and how people operate as people in interactions in business with colleagues, with people they work with clients, etc. And back in 2006, I took a course in executive coaching. Executive coaching is a type of coaching that focuses on working with organizational leaders. And those leaders could be at the CEO or C-suite level, and it can be with people who are middle managers in companies or owners of companies, partners in companies. What I bring to all of that work is my understanding of people, how we as people react to one another. Some people inspire us and bring out the best in us. Others evoke a response in us that brings out the worst in us. And understanding that is really, really important to becoming the best you can be in whatever aspect of business you are involved in. So I love using the insights that I have learned over many decades at this point about people, about understanding myself and other people, how we react and interact with one another. And I want to be able to help organizational leaders at whatever level and their teams get to be the best they can be. And that's really what my passion is and my mission is, to help people in that way.
You know, there's so many different types of assessment tools that are used both in psychology, right, and have been formatted specifically for the workplace, right? Everything from team building and putting good teams together, trying to find the right dynamics of how people interact. Like you said, sometimes people bring out the best of us, and then other people create challenges for us that hopefully we can learn from, right? But navigating all of that as a C-suite executive impacts the culture of a company, right? And that ability to truly understand the collective need of the business through culture. What does its people need? Because people really do matter most, and most leaders will say their greatest asset is their people. So how do you work with leadership on culture issues?
Great question, Lisa, and I couldn't agree with you more. I think culture is what it really is all about. And even though a lot of organizational corporate leaders say our greatest asset is our people, some people kind of forget about that. And the focus is on profits and numbers and how much did we make in this quarter versus the quarter before or next.
Well,
And
Marc, wait, I just have to stop you because I don't want to ever lose sight of the fact that those profits pay those people to have a quality of life. They go hand in hand. We can't have
Absolutely. And I'm not knocking that part. I'm emphasizing the people part, because without the people, even in our world where AI is becoming more and more predominant and we don't know where it's going, the people are the most important asset of the organization. So to the degree that organizational leaders, whether they're C-suite people or managers, whatever level, recognizing that the way leaders interact with their teams, with the members of their teams, with the people who are doing the work, it's so essential to have an atmosphere, a culture where they feel safe and secure. They can speak their minds. There isn't a fear of retribution if they speak up and disagree with the boss, because often the most creative solutions to problems come when people can brainstorm and feel open to do that. And I think culture starts on the top and filters down. So for organizational leaders to take for granted that, they're good people, they're going to treat people well, they're going to give them periodic raises or whatever, it's often not enough to make people, especially the younger generation, the Gen Zs, for example, really feel secure, and they have their challenges, but to realize that everybody, all of us, need to feel acknowledged, appreciated. Doesn't mean we're always right. It doesn't mean the boss always has to agree with us, but to have a culture where there's an openness and a freedom to speak and feel safe in doing so and feeling respected. So, working with organizational leaders and helping them keep their eye on that factor, along with all the other things they have to deal with, that's a challenge, and that's where my area of expertise comes in.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's critical work that you do, no doubt. Bruce, did you have another question for Mark?
Mark, is there a defining moment in your life that shaped who you are today, personally or professionally?
Now, that's a deep question. Thank you. Part of being who I am, both in terms of my professional development and my being a person, is involves a lot of self-awareness and self-reflection. And I've thought a lot about my family of origin. It happens that my father is 99 and a half years old, still alive. My mom passed away about 5 or 6 years ago. And I know that growing up with my dad, who is now relatively doing well, but frail and dependent in a lot of ways. My dad was not an easy guy to deal with. He's a perfectionist. He could be very hard on me when I was getting straight A's. He would jokingly, he told me later, say, if I got a 98 on a test, where's the other 2 points? And it's only recently that he said, I was joking. But as a kid, I thought he was really expecting the 100. So self-awareness is really important. And I think a lot of people, including my dad, for example, and other people in my family and other people I deal with, are not always aware of who they are and how they reflect who they are on other people, how they impact other people. Communication is so important. I've made mistakes in my life for sure, and I regret them, and I've tried to learn from them. And I think that's true in different ways for all of us. So if I put it back in terms of my own personal development, there was a time when I learned my training was psychoanalytic, and I'm not a Freudian, but the idea that it all starts in the first couple of years. I think that's true to a great degree, but we evolve as people, and there are different points in our lives where we have opportunities to learn from our mistakes more than anything else and to grow and develop. And that's been a lifetime process. So I hope that kind of answers the question.
No, I agree. It's always a process. We all take different roads to get there's a lot of roads to get to Phoenix, a lot of roads. All right. To eventually get there.
So one more question. What's something that you love, passionate about, you might have a high level skill at outside of the scope of what you do professionally?
Great question. One of those questions that Lisa always throws out at our weekly meetings.
Yeah. Because it's how people get to know one another, right?
Yeah.
One thing I find that people often, because things are at such a pace at this point, right? 2025, nobody can keep up with what's happening. I think we've lost a little bit of time just to connect on who we are and what we love. And in those places, I think we find real deep connection, right? And an interest to want to get to know the other person, spend more time, and ultimately, professionally, that converts hopefully to professional value as well.
Yeah.
So what is it?
Well, there are a couple of things that come to mind. One is not, unfortunately, something I'm doing now, but in my 40s, I ran a couple of New York City marathons and did them in decent time. And I feel a sense of accomplishment. And those were highlights of my life in some ways. Unfortunately, as years have gone by, my back has gone out a few times and I wasn't running. And then I even had problems walking. And finally, my back is feeling well enough that I've been walking more consistently over the past month or so. So I'm happy about that. I love being outside. There was a time when I was into hiking. I'd love to get back into hiking. I love the outdoors. I would never like to run on a track, but running outside, even in my neighborhood in Plainview, is fun. But the other thing is music and singing in particular. When I was a kid, I took lessons in classical guitar, and I was never great at it, but I learned a little bit about reading music and playing. And then for many years, I never picked up the guitar. Recently, because I've gotten more and more involved in going to synagogue, I'm a conservative member of a conservative Jewish congregation, we have a band that plays on once a month on Friday nights when our congregation allows for music, and I play the guitar, and it's just rhythm guitar. I recently read John Lennon was a great rhythm guitarist. I said, well, I'm in good company. Not a great lead guitarist, but I can play rhythm and I love it. It's like fun, it's exciting, I've been learning. There are things that I never realized about how to play certain chords, and I've been learning it at my age, and I'm in my 70s, and I love it. I also have loved for a long time just participating in singing. And one thing that the cantor and I did about 2 weeks ago, we took some Leonard Cohen songs and I played the guitar. He sang prayers for the Friday night service to those tunes. And it was cool. It was so, he and I have a good relationship, but this is the first time it was a collaboration for just the two of us. And it was fun and it was just a cool experience. I wish more people showed up for the performance or the service. He says, not a performance, we're praying, it's a service. But anyway, that fulfills me in a way. There's something about singing and creating music and listening to music. I'm into classical music to listen to, but that brings me to a higher level of awareness and
Right.
connection with the universe. So those are things that really mean a lot to me.
That's wonderful. What a beautiful way to spend some creative time. I know for many people, myself included, being creative allows me to be creative professionally as well. So when my hands are busy and my hands are creating, it allows my brain also to be more creative. So
That's so nice.
yeah. Mark, it's been great to have you. So how can folks get in touch with you?
All right. Well, I hope some people will want to have more conversation with me. The best way is actually either let me give my cell number. That way people can text me or call me. I don't use my office phone very often, which I still have my landline, but my cell phone always goes with me. And my number is 516-835-5977.
And we're going to send all of your contact information within the postings of this. And of course, people will be able to listen to this and view it in a variety of different places. So it's been an absolute pleasure having you.
Thank you, Lisa and Bruce. It's fun. I wish this could go on for another half hour or so, but it's a good time to stop, and I'm glad you shared this time with an opportunity with me. Thank
Well,
you.
I look forward to having new and additional conversations with you. So you'll definitely come back. We'll do it again. We'll do a part 2.
That sounds great, Lisa. Thank you. Take care.